Hi friends, welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Today I put together a compilation video with some of my past favorite and present favorite Christmas ornaments. I wanted to give myself a little bit of a break, so I thought I'd put together some of my ornaments. I know there's a lot of you who are new here that probably haven't seen some of the ornaments I've made in the past, so I thought it'd be fun to put a video together so that you can see some of those. But before we get on to that video, I want to welcome you. If you are new here, welcome. And my name is Brenda, and this is my sweet Oliver. And if you're returning, you guys are amazing. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, here is DIY number 1. So I'm going to use my Crimson by Waverly and my antique wax. I'm going to use these stickers that I had in my stash from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use 3 of these oval wood shapes from Dollar Tree, and then I think I created this with my Cricut. I'm sorry, I don't remember if I created it or if I bought it or used it from Cricut Design Space. So I am going to remove the hangers from those plaques and then go over them with my antique wax. Once they were dry, I took a chip brush and my crimson color, and I am just going over and doing a dry brushing all around it. I love this technique. I've been doing this a lot lately with my stuff because it just gives it that rustic barn looking feel, and I really love it. After it was dry, I took my decals here and I'm just going to add one to each one of my plaques. And then I'm going to, I'm trying to remember, you guys, I did this a few weeks ago and I can't remember if I made this decal or not. I think I might have just got it off of Cricut Design Space. I ended up off camera painting those stickers black, and I'm just going to place these all along the rim of my plaque, the edge is better. I will say though, if you recreate this, you might want to put a little bit of like E6000 or Fix All glue down, because I went to go hang these up last night to take pictures, and I did notice some of them were kind of trying to come off. I reposted it or replaced it and it stuck, but it is, you know, Dollar Tree adhesive behind it, and that's not always trustworthy. So I would maybe put a little layer of, like I said, the E6000 or Fix All glue, and then place these down and let them dry on there. Once I did not go all the way around to the top because I wanted to add a bow. So I just, you'll see me counting here. I had it like 3 dots past the hanger on both sides. That way I knew it was even. After that, I put the hanger on and I took some of these beads. These I got from Amazon, and I am just alternating the different colors. I have a black, I have a buffalo check, and a solid red, and I'm just kind of alternating. I put 8 on here. You always want to do an even color or even amount of beads, so that way it will hang straight. At least that's how it is with pictures. Ask me how I've learned that one. Anyways, once I had the beads on there, I took some of these little pieces. This came off of a candle ring that I bought from Hobby Lobby, and I hot glued them on the top there. I'm going to take this ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby last year sometime. It was like on clearance, so of course I couldn't pass it up. And I'm going to just make a little shoestring bow like you saw. I'm going to dovetail the ends, and then I'm going to hot glue it right in the middle of my greenery picks there. And once I have that on there, I'm just going to go and grab some of these little berries. These come on little picks. It's a bag of them I got from Hobby Lobby as well, and I'm just going to hot glue them on. And you guys, Hobby Lobby is a great place to look when they have their sales. So yeah, that's why I get some of this stuff from Hobby Lobby, because sometimes their stuff's even better quality than Dollar Tree. And there they are. I love how these came out. They are so beautiful, and I got my big Christmas tree. I was falling asleep last night when I was editing this. Oh my goodness. Okay, next DIY. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I'm using that paint, those wood pieces from Dollar Tree. And then I got this after Christmas last year. I think it was like, or maybe it was right before Christmas, like 75% off. I'm going to paint those wood slices with my Waverly Crimson color. And then I'm going to use some Elmer's school glue on each one once they were dry. And I'm just going to brush them on this, or brush this glue right on. If you don't know what I'm doing the crackle effect. I love this effect. Then I take my white paint and I'm just brushing it on over the wet glue. Now, when you add the paint, you don't want to do a lot of strokes. You try to do as little strokes as you can, because the more strokes you do in that same spot, the less chance of it crackling. So once I had those all covered, I used my heat gun here, and I am just going over it. If you don't have a heat gun, you can just let it, dry, and it will start crackling on its own. But for video purposes and to speed things up, I used my heat gun, and you'll be able to see here in a minute how beautiful it's crackling. I love it. And then I'm going to take these words, and I'm taking my Fix All glue, and I'm just going all around the back of it. And once I had it completely covered, I'm going to place them on the front of my wood signs. And I am going to use some little clamps that I got from Dollar Tree to kind of help keep them in place. And then I am going to put something heavy on top too, just to make sure that the middle part was going down and attaching to the wood. I let those sit overnight, and then I just took some more of the greenery pieces from that candle ring and hot glued it to the corner there, and then added another bow and some more of these berries. And I absolutely love how these came out. I just think they are so beautiful. When I hung them on my tree last night, I was in awe because I just love them. They are just rustic, and yeah, there they are. Oh, I love them. You have to let me know what you think about these as well as the first ones. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So I'm going to use these beautiful Cardinal napkins that Kathy Jo sent to me. I'm going to use 3 of these wood slices from Dollar Tree, and then of course my Mod Podge. It's a very easy project, you guys. So I started off by taking that little pick and removing the staples with the hangers from the side of each one of those wood slices. And then I just went and covered the front with some Mod Podge. I didn't paint it. I wanted it to have that natural wood look. And I set them aside to dry. And then I'm cutting out the border here of the napkins and saving them for another project. And then I'm just going to go around with my little scissors and fussy cut all around those napkins. After it was dry, I took my napkin and placed it on the wood slice, and then covered it with parchment paper and used my little heat press to reactivate that Mod Podge, and then covered it again with Mod Podge to help protect that napkin. And I did that on all 3 rounds. Then I took one of these garland ties. This one came from Hobby Lobby. I cut it in half and then cut it in half again and twisted the 2 halves together, and then just hot glued that on top. And then I'm going to take some of these little frosted berries. These come in a huge bag from, well, maybe not huge, but big, from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to hot glue 3 of those little berries in place here, right over that greenery. Then I took this really thin ribbon I've had in my stash forever, but I'm pretty sure I got them from Walmart, and I think Walmart has these. I made a little bow, hot glued it to the front, and then I'm just taking another piece of that ribbon and making a hanger, and there they are. So easy, but look how beautiful they are. I love that napkin, and I think I'm doing my tree this year in Cardinals. with reds and whites. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. Number 3. So for this DIY, I'm going to use some tumbling tower blocks from Dollar Tree. And then I'm going to use these little bags. These are little gift bags that I just got about a week ago at Walmart. They were only 98 cents. And they have a picture on both sides of the bags. And then my Waverly Antique Wax. So I started off by removing the little hangers and or straps, whatever you want to call them. And then there was a seam on this paper or the bag, so I just kind of ripped it at the seam, and then I'm cutting. Now here, I'm cutting really close to that picture. You don't want to do that. You want to leave a little bit of a border. I ended up not being able to use this one because I cut too close. But you just want to have a little bit of a border there. So I'm going to take some tumbling tower blocks. I think I had 12 sets of 3. Is that right? Well, let's just put it this way. There's 4 sets of 3 on each ornament and 4 sets of 2 on each ornament because I did front and back. So after I had those all glued together, I started gluing the strips of 3 to the strips of 2, just like you see me doing right there. And then I'm going to add the next strip of 2 to the outside of those strips of 3. And yeah, just watch what I'm doing because you'll probably get a better tutorial than me telling you. So once those were all done and glued together, I used my antique wax. I just brushed it on and then wiped off the excess. And then I am going to hot glue it right on top. Now, I did a boo-boo here. I hot glued the back on top, but if you recreate this, you would want to trim off the excess before you do this because it was very difficult. Look, I'm like, I can't do this because it's not sitting on anything. So I tried my scissors, but they weren't close enough. But then I realized, oh, well, my knife did cut it, but it wasn't very easy. So I'd recommend cutting that paper before you add the back piece to it. And I added that back piece just to give the more stability to keep that bag in place. Then I went around the inside with some of this red cording. I don't remember where I got it, you guys. I've had it forever. And then I took some of this napkin. Now I only had enough of this napkin to do 2 of these, so I ended up using some of that plaid from the bag for one of them. But I'm just going to go around the front with this plaid. And I'm just using my Mod Podge here. And then I'm going to add my napkin. I removed the back layer. And then I am just going to put it on the back there, just like that. And trim off the excess. And then I covered the sides with the smaller pieces of that plaid as well. And then I just went over all of those napkins with that Mod Podge. And again, you know, if you recreate this, you don't even have to do that. You could leave it with just the tumbling tower blocks. So I had that pick that came from a candle ring from Hobby Lobby. I cut some little pieces off of it. And then I'm just going to hot glue 2 of them on the side there, like you see. I'm making a finger bow. I'm one loop finger bow. And I'm just going to tighten this. Now this ribbon, I have no idea where I got this. In fact, I thought it was full red and I pulled it to use it and I wrote, oh, it's see-through in the middle. I have no idea where I got it or when I got it. But anyway, so I just made that bow and hot glued that in the middle. I'm taking some of these little pip berries you get from Hobby Lobby. I'm cutting them off the little floral wire that they're on, and then I'm just going to hot glue 2 to each of those little greenery pieces, and then I'm going to take some and hot glue them to the opposite corner, inside corner where the bird is. And let's see, what else do I do? I think I forgot to show you something, but anyways, I'm going to just take this cord and tie a knot on the end, and you hot glue it to the top for a hanger. One of these bags, they didn't have glitter on one side, so the one that didn't have glitter, I did use a glue pin and added some glitter to it so it would match the rest. But I love how this turned out. Oh, these are so pretty, and you know me, I love rustic, and this is rustic and beautiful. I love it. I hope you do too. Oh my goodness, you guys, this one Wait till you see what I did. Okay, I'm going to use some more of this table scatter and berries and stuff that I got from Amazon and Hobby Lobby. Some of this furry ribbon from, I think this is that Walmart? I thought it was Hobby Lobby, but that looked like a Walmart tag. And then I cut this out with my Cricut. I just looked up mitten and found that design and cut it out. Some cardboard and then some fabric. I think I got this from Walmart last year. And I was going to use some tumbling tower blocks, but I kind of had to change what I did. So we'll show you here in a few minutes. So I'm going to take that vinyl that I cut out. And if you can draw, you could probably easily draw a glove. I'm just not that great at free-handing drawing. So I'm using it as a template. So I'm just tracing it out. Then I cut that out and then I used it to trace out the rest. Okay, so this is the deal. So I cut these out and then I realized, oh my goodness, they're all going to the same direction. So make sure that you cut some out one way and then you want to turn your mitten around the other way to cut them so that they will work right. So after I had that material all cut out, I'm just using my Mod Podge here and I'm just going to Mod Podge that material onto my mittens. Now, this is where I messed up. So I thought, okay, this looks so pretty. And I put my fabric on and cut it out so that it would look so pretty. But I forgot that I wanted to hang these so that the mittens are upside down. And I didn't realize that right away. So here I'm just, adding the Mod Podge on top of my fabric to help protect that and let it dry. And then here's where I realized when I was putting things together, I'm like, oh my gosh, my birds are upside down. So, and I already had my ribbons and stuff on there. So what I had done is I had put tumbling tower blocks in between the two mittens, glued it together, put some of that red ribbon around it and some red cording, and then the furry around the fur around the top because I wanted it to be like a little panther. But then I realized that I put my fabric, I should have had the fabric going the opposite direction. So I just went, okay, well, it is what it is now, so I have to finish it. So I finished it by putting some greenery in it, adding some pine cones and berries and a ribbon. And so, yeah, if you recreate this and if you want it to be upside down like that, make sure that your fabric is upside down when you're gluing it on. Or when you're cutting it out. Yeah. Oh my goodness. See, I'm even confused now. So here I just took a little hanger and just hot glued that in there too so that it hangs like that. So with the other ones, I just glued them together without the tumbling tower blocks. I am going to make these hang from the top. And then I added this ribbon, glued it to all around the edge so you didn't see the edge of the cardboard. Now I'm just trimming it off, and then there was enough to be able to use that for the other mitten. And then I'm just going around that ribbon on the top with this cording. And then I'm just going to add my, what is that? Fur. All around the top. And then after I got this one done, I'm like, there wasn't that much bird stuff on it. I could have still done this one upside down, but oh well, it is what it is. So I just compromised and or I changed the way I was doing everything and just added my greenery and stuff to the cuff of that mitten, and then added the hanger to the top part of the mitten. So there they are. I think they're really cute. I just think they would have been cuter if I would have done them all right. But anyways, you're gonna have an upside down bird on that one. Oh my goodness. And this one, yeah, that one, whatever. Anyways, you have to let me know. It's a great thought. I hope. Okay, here's DIY number 2. So for this DIY, I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson and then the Waverly Antique Wax. I'm going to use some of these snowflake stickers that comes from Dollar Tree. I'm going to use some of this really pretty ribbon from Hobby Lobby, and then one of these wood ornament. Well, they're not, I don't know what they are, what they consider them, but they're from Dollar Tree. So I'm going to start off by removing all the little glue dots on the back of those snowflakes. And then I removed the hangers from the bigger snowflakes, painted them with my antique wax, and then painted the smaller ones with the red. Then I'm going to hot glue the red little snowflake on top of the brown big snowflakes. Then I took some jute string here. I'm folded it in half. I taped the two ends together, and I'm going to string that through the hole. And then I'm going to take the ends of that and wrap it through that loop and then pull tightly. Then I'm going to start adding some beads. Now these red beads I got either last year or the year before from Walmart. They are like a 12-foot garland, 6-foot garland, I think, something like 12-foot garland. They're like $5. And then the brown ones I got this year, same thing, the long garlands from Walmart in the Christmas section. Anyways, I added them for the hanger. This one I didn't cut. I cut the twine too short to be a hanger, so make sure you leave a good portion on top to hang it on the tree. Then I added just some little greenery on the top of that big snowflake with another little berry there, and then I took some of this ribbon, made a bow doing the awareness ribbon and scrunching it up in the middle and then tying it tight with my jute string. I tried to make sure that you could see the word either Merry or Christmas on the tails there. I tried to make sure it was the full word and not cut in the middle of the word. And I dovetailed the ends, and then I'm just going to hot glue that right there. And I made 4 of those actually. Look how beautiful these are. I absolutely love them. I am going to have kind of a rustic red and brown and cardinal and white theme on my tree. I can't wait to put it all together. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this DIY, I'm going to use this glitter that I just got at Hobby Lobby. It was 40% off of that price. And then I created some decals on my Cricut. So that's all of them right there. And then I got this polyacrylic from Walmart. You could also use floor wax, is what I've been told. I've got some cups here, and then I just bought these from Walmart. They're 99 cents and they're flat. And I like that because I thought it would be easier to put the decals on. So I started off by removing the tops of all of these, and I'm using a syringe, and I'm just putting a polyacrylic inside, and then you're going to swirl it around, and you want to make sure that it gets coated evenly all over. So you're just going to keep swirling, and you will be able to tell when it's all coated. You'll see a change in the appearance. And you see I just put some more acrylic in there because I was running out or needed more. And then you just hold them, you put them upside down in a cup for about 5 minutes or so until the excess is drained out. Then you pour in some glitter and you just shake it all around just like I'm doing here. And that glitter just sticks right onto that polyacrylic, and it is so easy. I have seen this done on Pinterest, and I've always wanted to try it, but I was worried it wasn't going to be very easy, but it's so easy. And there I just put a napkin and shook it so that it would get around the top part of it. Then I take my decals here, and I'm just going to start placing the decals on one side of the ornaments. Now these are the names of one of my sisters, her family, and all of her kids' middle names are an animal. So I thought it would be a fun idea to make decals of those animals and put them on the back of those ornaments. And that's what I'm doing here. So this is a gift for my sister and her family. And I absolutely love the way these came out. And these are so easy, you guys. And you may have seen them before. I've seen them, but I've never tried it. Always afraid of, sometimes it seems too good to be true. Well, let me tell you, these were so easy. So here I'm just adding the second decal on the back. And then after that, I just put the top on, and that ornament is almost done, except for the hanger. So once I had them all done, I just went with some different ribbons to match each one and made little bows or did whatever, and hot glued them on. And then I just took some coordinating ribbon, the ribbon that matched, and I'm just going to make a hanger by just adding some hot glue to each end, gluing the ends together, and you have a hanger. And that's all I did on these. Now for my sister and her husband, I didn't put anything on the back side. I just put their names. They don't have animal middle names, so but I absolutely love the way these came out. And I'll show you here. So there they all are. So like I said, I had just different ribbons that I added to each one. And I love them. In fact, I think I'm going to make some for all of my family because they're so easy and they were so much fun. And then there's the back side of all of them. We have a moose and a fox and a lion and a bear and a sparrow. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So this DIY, or I should say ornaments, I'm going to use my Waverly antique wax. These garden charms I got from Dollar Tree, some beads from Dollar Tree, these wood stickers from Dollar Tree, and then this buffalo check vinyl I got from Hobby Lobby. So I'm going to start out by tracing those rounds onto the back of the vinyl and then cutting them out. Then I use my antique wax on the back and on the sides of those charms, and then I'm going to brush them all on to my beads and then I use a nap or paper towel to kind of wipe off the excess, and I do that until I have both sides done. Then I take my hot glue. I'm going to glue the beads all around my rounds, just like you see there. Make sure if you recreate these that you do hold those beads in place for a little bit, because with the wax, it does take a little bit for it to really set in. So once I have the rounds completed, I'm going to, I guess I'm finishing it off here. I'm going to take those vinyl pieces and I'm going to place them right on the front, just like you see. Then I'm going to take some of my, I poke a hole through the vinyl so that way I can hang it. Then I take some of my favorite, well, it's not really favorite, but it's one of the braided cord, jute cord that I get from Amazon. It is in my Amazon store. I do really like this. I do use it a lot. It just has a nicer finished look than the regular jute cord you get like at Dollar Tree or Walmart. So once I go all the way around the edge there, I'm going to trim it off. And then I'm going to use some of that same to make a hanger. But first, I guess I'm going to make a bow. And I just make a shoestring bow, not a shoestring, I'm sorry, a finger bow. And make sure if you recreate this, you put the hanger on first, because I don't think I show you this, but I did try to, oh, I am. I'm going to put that on first, and then I'm going to put the hanger on, and it didn't work. So I had to take the bow off and replace it, because it was like, wait, when I do the hanger, it's going to go over the bow. So I had to take it off and redo it. So anyways, I'm just using that same cord there, making a bow. I tie a knot and then I hot glue that knot to the back of my ornament. That way it doesn't move around and you don't necessarily see the knot. And then I'm just going to hot glue that bow right back in front of my wood round here. And sorry, guys, my allergies are bothering me. I just took my allergy pill. It hasn't kicked in yet. Then I took the tree here. I didn't want the glitter side. You could use the glitter side if you wanted, but I just took that little sticky dot and put it from the back to the front. And then I used my wax, my antique wax for the front of it now, and then hot glue that on. And then I just used a present and a snowflake from that sticker set, and I really love how these turned out. You'll have to let me know what you think about these in the just comment box below. Okay, here's DIY number 1. So for this ornament, I used a wood round I got from Hobby Lobby, my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and antique wax. This printout I created on Cricut and some painter's tape. So I'm going to start off by measuring where the middle of that round is, and then I'm just going to use my painter's tape to separate the sides. And once I get that all on there, I'm going to take my antique wax, and I am just going to brush it all on the bottom portion of that wood round, or the top portion, whichever you prefer to have it. And after I brush it all on, then I take my paper towel and I just wipe off the excess. And you'll see me do that here. And then after I got done with that, I just removed the tape, moved it down, and then I am adding the ink, which is black in Waverly chalk paint, and I'm doing that on the opposite side. And then after they were both dry, I'm going to take this print out from Cricut. Now, I didn't create this. I actually got it off of Cricut MySpace. And I'm going to put that onto my wood round. Now, I was using Dollar Tree vinyl, so I didn't want to bore you with me trying to get it on there. Then I took my Crop-A-Dile and made a hole. And I took some of this ribbon I got from Hobby Lobby, and I am just making a little bow, and I'm doing the normal bow I normally do, where I make the awareness sign and scrunch it up in the middle, and then I'm going to use some twine instead of a twist tie to scrunch up the middle. So I'm just going to tie a knot here and dovetail the ends, and I have my bow created. But before I put my bow on, I took some more of the jute twine, and I am just making a hanger. So I just put it through the hole, and I am tying a knot with the 2 strands there. Then after that, I'm going to take some of these fern pieces from a Dollar Tree pick, and I'm just hot gluing them onto the top there by the hanger, and then I'm just going to add the bow right in the middle. And you guys, I absolutely love this ornament. It is my favorite of all the ornaments I've made this year. So then I take one of those pine cones that I got from Walmart in a bag of pine cones and greenery, and I just hot glue it in the middle. And there it is. I absolutely DIY number 2. I love this one too, guys. So I used another wood round, that Joy sign from Dollar Tree, the napkin from Dollar Tree, and then Waverly chalk paint in the color ink and in the color fern. So I'm starting off here by brushing that metal Joy sign with some Mod Podge, because that will help the paint adhere to it. And then while it was drying, I took my ink color and I just paint that whole wood round with that color. And then after I was done doing that, I took my napkin here and I am going to cut it so that it just has that square there. And then I'm going to take the second layer off of it. I'm going to separate the layers, and then I'm going to trim it way down. I'm just going all around the flowers. I first thought I wanted to use the green leaves that were on this side, but it didn't look right. I didn't like the way it looked, so I decided to trim it off. And so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just giving it a good trim. And then once I have this all trimmed, I am going to adhere it with Mod Podge. Now I don't know what happened to some of my footage. It's not there, so I'm kind of going to walk you through what I do. So I'm going to add a whole bunch of Mod Podge on it, of course, and then I'm going to put the napkin back down on my round and add more Mod Podge and let it dry. Once it was drying, here I'm getting ahead of myself, I guess. When you do a napkin, if you haven't Mod Podge with the napkin, you want to be really careful because they are they tear very easily. So that's why I'm patting and not rubbing. And that's kind of what you want to do. I've seen other people use a plastic wrap. That helps to use plastic wrap when you're pushing it down. That I guess helps it not rip. So here is where I'm adding the Mod Podge all over on the top. And I'm really bummed because I did the burning method after it was all dry to burn off the excess, and it did not make it for some reason on my video. And it was really cool to watch, actually. I'll have to do it again. So then I take my fern color and I am painting the metal word Joy with that fern color. And then after that, I use some glue dots to adhere it to my wood round. I do some brushing with my antique Waverly wax on it to give it a distressed look. I have some burlap poinsettias I got from Hobby Lobby that I added to the top, as well as a gold braided cord from Hobby. Or should I say ornament number 4? Okay, you guys, you know I had to have cardinals, right? So I bought these last year and I've had them in my stash. I couldn't find them. I finally found them. I got them from Amazon. I got that material from Walmart and then my antique wax. So I'm going to do the same thing with these hoops. I'm just going to use my wax and use a paper towel to brush it all on and wipe off the excess. Now I also added some wax to the metal part and to the screw because I wanted it to have I didn't want it to be so shiny. I wanted it to have a more muted look. So I did this to the front of the hoops and the back of the hoops. And then once they're dry, I cut out the pieces of material that I wanted to use. And I am just adding my top piece over. As you can see, I put the fabric over the bottom piece, put the top piece over it, and then I tightened it. And I made sure to pull the edges so it was taut. And then I trimmed it all off in the back. After that, I am just using some jute string here, or twine, whatever you want to call it, to make a loop or a hoop. No, a hanger. But I decided, you know what, I want to add some beads. So I just tied that knot and then I added, I think, 4 or 5 beads. And then here I was like, okay, now how do I finish this off to make a hanger? So I ended up I tied some knots there so they didn't fall off, but I ended up doing a loop, and then I took the leg of that twine and wrapped it around and then pushed the end through the wrapped part, if that makes sense, and made a knot. And then I did the other 2 a little bit different. I added some pine cones to one of them and a burlap, or not burlap, buffalo check ribbon or bow. This one I'm adding some greenery and pine cone, and as you can see, I also did a twine bow where I wrapped it around my hands to make a bow and then added that to the top. And then this one, I had a twine bow, buffalo check hanger, and some greenery, but there they are. I love them. And again, I'm really thinking next year I'm going to do my family room tree in cardinals. So this is a good start for that tree for next year. DIY ornament number 5. These, you guys, I got this inspiration from some ornaments I got last year from Hobby Lobby. So I'm using my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. I created some decals with my Cricut, and then these little ornaments that came from Dollar Tree. Now they're really cute as they were, but I wanted to make them different. So I'm just using my heat gun here and my Cricut spatula to get all that paper off. And once I got that off, I just used my Goo Gone to remove all the gluey residue that was left on there. And these are tin, although they feel kind of plasticky, but they were getting hot when I was using my heat gun, so they do have metal in them. But anyway, so I painted them red, or with my crimson, and then I created this decal right here. You might think it's funny, but it says Merry Christ the Lord. And I made that because when I was growing up, we had a cockatoo, and my dad tried to teach it to say Merry Christmas, and he tried to teach it to say Praise the Lord, and he would always say Merry Christ the Lord. So a lot of times when I say Merry Christmas, or I think of Merry Christmas, I automatically hear that in my voice, Merry Christ the Lord. So I wanted to put that on my ornament just because it's a fun family memory. And then I created this one that says Joy to the World. And then the last one, the one with the trees and the Merry Christmas, that I just got off of Cricut Design Space. So I am just adding them to my bottle caps. And if you wanted to make this double-sided, you could do something on the inside too, as very easily, so that if it turned or whatever, or if someone looked at the back, it would have something too. Then I just added the stuff that came off of it back on, but I added a little more details to it. So this one I added a bow, and I put this one on the bottom, added that pine cone that came off of it. The other ones I added them on the top. And then I added some beads on this one for the hanger, and I did, I don't know how many, maybe 10, 8, something like that. And then I'm just going to make a hanger with the beads. And I don't remember what I did on the other ones, but I did just a few different little things to just kind of make them unique. You could make them all the same if you wanted, but I like to make things a little bit different. So this one, yeah, I put on the top And then I made a finger bow with my twine. I'm going to add that. And I think, I don't remember if it was this one or it was the one I just did. I also added a bead by my bow. You'll see that here in a minute. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so here is, I made a buffalo check bow. This one I did the ribbons and the beads and then the bow on the bottom. And then this one I made a twine bow and hanger. So there they are. Okay, blast from the past number 2. These are ornaments number 6. So I used these pallets from Dollar Tree, which I covered with antique wax, some window clings, and then that Merry Christmas sign. So I'm going to take these little window clings and I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm just going to trim off the excess vinyl. I do this, you guys, because I really feel that it gives it a more high-end look when you don't see all that all that plastic going around it. And then I'm just going to use my glue stick to adhere them to that crate or pallet. Now, I don't know if it was the glue stick or if it was the I think it's more the plastic. These, we store our ornaments, our Christmas stuff up in the attic, and it gets really hot up there in the summertime. And so when I got the ornaments out this year, the plastic's kind of rolling up and it feels a little brittle. So I think I don't necessarily think it was the glue. I think it's the plastic itself, because I did have another thing with the window clings and it did the same thing and it didn't have glue on it. So just a FYI, depending on where you store these, that might happen. So then I had those all placed, and I'm just going to hot glue this Merry Christmas in on the top here where I wanted, and then I made a bow with this ribbon from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to attach that as well as some greenery. Of course, see guys, I'm always talking about that table scatter I got from Walmart. And you see, I told you I use it all the time, and this was me using it last year. Then I added a berry or two, I don't remember. And then there it is, added a hanger. And here's a look at all 3. I will have a link to this video as well. I love them all. I loved this one. That one I think was my favorite out of all of them. This one was from a napkin, and I think I got the napkin actually at Hobby Lobby. But I love that one too. And then this one, of course. And I just love them. They're hanging on my tree as well. Okay, ornament number 7. We're almost halfway done, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to take 3 of these ornaments from Dollar Tree. And yes, they're very cute that way. And I almost hated taking them apart, but I had a different idea in mind. I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson. And then I got this wall tile piece at Hobby Lobby. It was on clearance. It's from their dollhouse section. Make sure you check out that section because you can get some good things. So I started off by removing the greenery, and then I realized that the fabric just came right off. And so I just removed all the greenery pieces from that fabric. Unfortunately, I did throw it away. And then I traced out all 3 of these ornament pieces with that wall tile, I guess you can call it. And then I'm going to cut them all out. And then after that, I am going to use my Fix-All glue that I get from Dollar Tree and some hot glue. And I'm going to attach them to the front of my ornaments. And then I'm going to add, or I'm going to use my little weeding tool there and embossing tool to push in the holes. After that, sorry, I had to take a drink of water. I'm using my crimson color to paint over the tiles. And then I got this, I have this, oh my goodness, do you see how that almost tipped out? That gold metallic paint, I got that from Hobby Lobby. And I'm just using this sponge brush to lightly go over the top areas. Oh, you guys, I love the way these came out. And my husband, I thought for sure he'd love these because he loves gold. And he's like, oh, they're okay. I'm like, really? I don't know. I love the way this looks. But anyways, I took some of this. It's some like Christmas cording. It's kind of glittery and gold. I got this, I believe, from Hobby Lobby a few years ago, and I made hangers with it. And then I am just hot gluing the greenery that came off of it. I'm just going to use that and hot glue it on the front. I did on some of them add a few more extra pieces, but then I'm just going to hot glue them right on the front and the middle, and that's all there was for these. Oh, I made a bow with that same cord, and I love the way these came out. You have to let me know what you think. Do you love them, or are they just okay, like my husband said? Blast from the past again. Number 12 is from last year as well. I'm going to use this metal star from Dollar Tree, some paper that came from this paper pack from Hobby Lobby, and some pearls from Dollar Tree, or fake pearls. And I'm going to start out by tracing out this star and cutting out that paper so that it fits right inside. And I don't even think I glued it. I think it fits so good I didn't have to do anything to it. I just stuck it right in. And then after that, I'm going to hot glue I think it was like 3 beads in each corner of the star. And this was not really easy. And then I took this poinsettia and I hot glued it to the top. Then I took some of that gold braided cord from Hobby Lobby and made a bow and hot glued it to the top. And then I decided to outline the star with this gold twine. Now, you know, we all know hot glue and metal doesn't work very well, but it's actually staying on. I was quite surprised that it stayed on. So I don't know. Who knows? Sometimes it works good and fine, and sometimes it doesn't. So after I went all the way around, I took one of these gold bottle brush trees from Dollar Tree and just hot glued it right there. And that's all there was for this one. Really cute, really vintagey. I really love it. You have to let me know what you think about this one as well. And I'll have a link to the video for this. This had vintage Christmas decor, and if you'd like to see it, Krista in my description box. Make sure you check them out. Okay, so DIY number 2. I'm going to take 3 of these Christmas tag signs from Dollar Tree. I am going to remove the paper. Now, I thought about this afterwards. If you don't want to go through the hassle of removing this paper, you could make this a 2-sided ornament, and you could definitely leave that paper on. That would be very cute as well. But I ended up just going ahead and removing all of the paper from each one of those, and this one was kind of giving me a workout there. But once I had the paper off, I spritzed it down with water. I let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I used my paint scraper here to scrape off all of that excess paper and glue. Usually when I do this, the paper's really sticky. This wasn't. This was more powdery. It was kind of weird, and I don't know if maybe it's because I've had these tags for a few years. I don't know. It was kind of weird. But anyways, I'm just going to scrape it all off. And then I did use my what is that, Goo Gone on the back to remove the little sticker that it was on the back. But then I painted both sides with my Waverly chalk paint in the color white. Once it was dry, I took some craft sticks from Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to lay them where I want them, and I'm going to draw a line with my pencil here. And then after that, I'm going to take my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, and I'm just going to paint that upper part of my tag sign. And I'm going to paint the whole front. I did not paint the back, and then I'm just going to paint the sides as well, or the edge, I should say. Once I had that all painted, you'll see me painting the edge here. Again, I don't know what I'm doing here and why it's so slow, but oh, blame it on the rain or whatever. But anyways, I'm also going to paint those craft sticks black. Now, when I paint the craft sticks, I'm going to paint the front completely black, and I'm going to paint just a little bit on the back side, the side, or I should say the mount that I know is going to hang over my tag sign. So after I had those all painted and dried, I'm going to use my wood glue and my hot glue, and I'm going to glue these on to make it look like a hat. And if you haven't guessed already, we are making snowman ornaments. And after I had that on there, I have these stencils. They are in my Amazon store. And I found a good face that I wanted to use, and I'm just using my paint markers to color in my stencil. I just figured this would be a little easier than using a paintbrush. So I'm just using my paint marker and just going along the openings there and coloring it all in. I used the orange for the nose and then the black for the rest of the face. And this comes out so cute. I think this is my favorite one out of tonight's stuff. But anyways, once I have that all done, which should be any moment here. And again, if you don't have these stencils or don't want to buy them, you could hand draw a face, which I almost did. I usually do hand drawing, but since I had these stencils, I figured I would just do that instead. I'm going to use a little piece of the greenery from Dollar Tree. I glued it on. This came off of a candle wreath from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to glue that over it, and then I'm going to add some pine cones. These pine cones came from Temu. I'm just going to glue a couple there, and then I'm going to add 3 berries to the bottom of that the pine cones there. And then I took a wood snowflake from, I think it was from Dollar Tree, either Dollar Tree or Hobby Lobby. I painted it white, and then I am going to use my hot glue to glue it right next to the berries. It's late. I'm tired and I'm trying to get this done. Anyways, I took my Snowtech Tex Snowtex. I got this from Hobby Lobby. You can get it on Amazon, but I have found it's cheaper at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to act like I'm putting snow all around the hat. And then I decided to go ahead and go over the greenery as well. Now, if you don't have this, you can always use white paint as well. This just has a little more texture to it. That's why I like it, but you could definitely use paint. Or you could use glitter. Glitter would be really fun too. So then after I have the snowy look all over, I'm going to take some of that red cording and create a hanger. When I did create this hanger, I'm going to tie a knot on the end, trim off the ends, and then I'm going to hot glue that knotted part down behind the snowman, so that way it just kind of hides the knot so you don't see it. And that's all I did. And that's the end of it. And look how cute those are. I just love them. I almost put different faces on each one. I probably should have. But yeah, I just think they're really cute. I hope you like them. Let me know in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 3. So I'm going to take 3 of these palettes from Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go over each one of them again with my Waverly Antique Wax. I'm just going to brush all over the front and the back and in between each slat so that you don't see the natural wood. Once I have it all brushed in, I'm going to take my oh my gosh. It's late. I'm tired. My paper towel, and I'm going to wipe off the excess. And I did this to all 3 of those, and like I said, front, back, sides, everything. And once I am done, I took these 2 ornaments from Dollar Tree. Now I'm going to remove the hangers from both with my staple remover, and then I decided to go ahead and I'm sorry it takes so long. Go ahead and remove the fabric. Well, after I removed the fabric from the Noel sign, I noticed that the backing of the fabric was still there. So I'm using my heat gun and my Cricut scraper there to remove it. But then I remembered I used this on my first year that I had my channel, and it did not turn out very well because that E is not very pronounced without the fabric on top. And I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to do it, so I decided to just not do that one, and I'm doing the word joy instead. So I pulled off the fabric on that one, got it all clear on the front, and then I added my painter's tape there, and I'm going to paint the top part of this with my Imperial Red by Folk Art. You could use any red that you have that you like. This is just one that I was next to me and I grabbed. So after I had the top and the sides of the top. Actually, I went over the sides of all of it with that red as well. I'm going to remove my tape and then I will dry it. After it was all dried, I am going to trace it out on some paper, some scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby. That's my granddaughter's hands there. She was trying to help me, I guess. I don't know. She was talking more than helping. But anyways, she was talking my ear off. That girl can talk a lot. I took some Mod Podge and I just went over the bottom part of my Joy word. And then once it was dry, I added my paper to it, cover it with my parchment paper to protect that paper, go over it with my heat press to reactivate the Mod Podge, and then it sticks. And then after that, I just covered it with a little bit more Mod Podge to put that special security coating over it. Once it was all dry, I took some of this gold cording from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to glue it along that edge of the paper. And then I'm just going to use my wood glue and hot glue to glue my Joy word to the front of the crates. Now, I thought I had 3 words, and of course the Noel didn't work out, so just the Joy did. So I'll show you what I did with the other 2 crates. I added a gold bow to match the gold cord that was on it. I used the same cording for the bow. Put those greenery pieces on there. That was from the candle wreath from Hobby Lobby. Added some of the berries, and then I'm just going to use some of that gold cord to create a hanger, and I just tied knots on the ends and used my stapler to staple them in place. And I love this one. Okay, you'll see that here in a few minutes when I show you all 3 of them. But I took one of these little ornaments that come from, I believe, Hobby Lobby. I've had these in my stash forever too. I'm just going to paint that with the same red. And then I couldn't think of what to do, so I went to bed. The next morning, I grabbed this ribbon from Dollar Tree. I glued it on both ends of my crate, or what is that? Yeah, whatever it is. And I glued my little ornament and added a little gold bow and hanger, and that's all there was for that one. The third one, I took this Believe word that came from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it with Waverly chalk paint in the color ink. Then I took my white and I'm just going to paint in the Santa hat, where the fur would be on the ball of the hat and on the brim of the hat. Once I had that all painted in, then I'm going to take that same Imperial red and paint the rest of the hat. And I guess I'm going to show you that. Yeah, I thought I sped this up more. I'm sorry, you guys. Yeah, you know what? My grandkids were getting ready to go trick-or-treating, and they were all excited and talking to me while I was trying to do this. So yeah. Anyways, I took a paint marker, and I'm going to draw some stitch lines along the word Believe. I did color in the top of the eye too. And then I just used my Titebond multi-purpose glue. No, sorry, Titebond Quick and Thick multi-surface glue to add that Believe sign to it. And then I had these little stickers from Hobby Lobby. I tore off the sticker dot thingies they have, and I'm just using the hot glue to glue them in place. And there they are. I think they're very cute, very fun. You could do so much to these little pallets. That's what they are, not crates, pallets. So just, let your imagination run with it if you have these and want to make some ornaments. Okay, DIY number 4. I'm going to take a couple of these snowflakes from Hobby Lobby. They're a little bit bigger than the Dollar Tree ones, but you could always do this to the Dollar Tree ones. I'm going to paint them with white chalk paint, and then once they were dry, I'm just going to go over them with my Mod Podge. I'm going to let them dry, and then I'm going to take some little pictures that came with the set. This is rice paper that I got from decoupagenapkin.com. Now, if you don't have these or don't want to order these, you could use napkins. You could use any kind of little pictures from a card or anything that you might have. I'm going to add them to my snowflakes using the parchment paper and heat press, just like I did on the previous projects. And then once they were added, my parchment paper was sticking there. I just covered them again with some Mod Podge just to protect that paper and then let it dry. And then I used my finger file to get through the cracks there. And then some of it, because this parchment paper is thicker than napkins, so it doesn't rip as easily with the file. I did use my little scissors to get any big pieces off that were not wanting to come off. So I took my Mod Podge here and I'm going to add it to the ends of my snowflakes. And then I'm going to take, this is diamond dust. I got this from Amazon. You could use glitter. And I'm just going to tap it onto where I laid that Mod Podge and just kind of tap it in and then shake off the excess. And then I'm going to add a little more Mod Podge, and I'm just going to do this all the way around my snowflake, and that way we have some glitter on it. And I love how these came out. The glitter just really touches it up and just makes it so much better. Once I had them all done, I decided to go ahead and take some Mod Podge and just go over that diamond dust with it, and to kind of protect it from coming off, and hopefully it does. But I love the look it gave. It gave it more of a chunky snow look. But anyways, I'm going to take some more of this red cording and I'm just going to make hangers with it, just like I did with everything else. And there they are. It is kind of hard to see the glitter. I guess you can see it, but I love it. I love them. You'll have to let me know what you think about these as well. And the final reveal is coming up. Thank you guys so much for watching today. So for this DIY, I am taking those, what are the spools from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to paint one with hazelnut. I'm going to paint one black and white. And then I grabbed another of the bigger one and painted that with Waverly chalk paint in the color truffle. So on the white one, I'm going to make a snowman face. So I'm just using this marker that Kathy Jo sent me. She says she found these at Dollar Tree. If you find these brush tip pins like that at Dollar Tree, get them. I love this pin. It is amazing. But I'm just going to make some dots for his mouth and his eyes. I'm going to use this as a brush tip marker that I forgot I had and I found in my stash. So I'm just using this to paint his nose. I am going to then take the brown one, the hazelnut, which of course is going to be a gingerbread guy. I'm going to make some eyes with that black pin from Dollar Tree. And I don't know why I'm taking so long here. I'm going to use one of my paint markers here. It's a pink to make his nose. I'm just going to color that in once I have it all drawn out. And then I'm going to make some smile lines with my pin from my black pin. I'm just going to say my black pin. And then I'm going to make some cheeks with that pink pin as well. And after I have that all done, what do? I don't know because I don't remember. I'm going to make some eye marks. I made some eyebrows, all that kind of stuff. And now I'm going to make some icing marks all the way around the top and the bottom of this. This is going to be an ornament. Now, you guys, I have 8 projects for you today. I wanted to make this a little bit longer video for you since I'm only going to have one video this week. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. So I took this brown one. I'm going to make the eyes like I did with the gingerbread, and then a big red nose. Now I'm using my marker here. I'll show you in a little bit. I'm going to end up using paint because it just was not bright enough, and I wanted it to be much brighter than what it was showing up. So I'm making a round nose. This is going to be a Rudolph, or you can just say reindeer. What am I doing? Oh, making eyebrows, I guess. And after I made them, like, oh, those are really crooked. But oh well, it gives it character. Here's where I went ahead and painted in with my crimson color. I gave it some little polka dot dots on the cheek, I guess. And then I'm going to add a little dots here and line on his nose. And then I took a Chanel stem, and I took my marker here. I cut the Chanel stem in half, and then I just wrapping it around my pin. And then, I don't know what I was doing there, but I'm just going to glue them onto the top so that he has some cute little antlers. And I'm going to do the other side just like I did this one. And I love this because you can move those little antlers all around. And my grandkids have already dubbed these, or called dibs on them. That was the first thing they said when they saw it. Can I have them? Luckily, they weren't fighting over which one. So that's lucky for me because that's usually what they do. Anyways, I'm going to take some of these garlands, and this is from Dollar Tree. I'm giving it a little bit of a haircut because it was so bushy. And if you do this, make sure you use a napkin or something. It's easier to clean up because those things go everywhere. I just added some hot glue around his hat, and I'm going to add that greenery. Then I'm going to add some berries. And when you add that, I didn't say this before, the little spool on top of the big one, you want to try and make sure that the holes match up so that you can string the hanger through. So I took some jingle bells. These came from Hobby Lobby as well. I took a big piece of jute twine. I'm going to tape those ends together, and I'm going to thread this through from the bottom to the top. Now, I should have made this twine just a little bit longer because I forgot about the fact that I was going to need to put some knots on the bottom and on the top. So here I'm trying to knot the bottom because this is where I'm like, oh, I should have knotted that so that it doesn't go all the way through. And then, of course, you're going to need to knot the top, which here, because this was a little bit thinner twine, I had to knot it twice so it didn't go through. I don't show you myself knotting the top because I forgot about that, and my grandson came and he goes, hey, wait, why is it doing this? I'm like, oh, shoot. So I didn't end up knotting the top. I might have to change it out and add some longer because it's a really, really short hanger now. But anyways, I'm going to do the same thing on my gingerbread. I learned the lesson here and made sure I had a longer piece of jute cord, and then you could use ribbon too if you want to recreate this. It doesn't have to be twine. That's just what I decided to use. So I'm just going to tie the knot here, and then we have a little hanger. And then for the snowman, I went ahead and just added some of my snow text all around the hat so that it looks like he's got some snow on him. And the reindeer, I did the same thing with the reindeer with the bells. Gave him both some jingle bells, and there they are. I just think they're so cute. I need to find a little tree or something to put in my craft room during this time of year to show this stuff. But anyways, there they are. Aren't they adorable? I'm going to take these beautiful vintage papers that I got from Temu. I'm grabbed 3 of them that I liked. I kind of bent them around the wood rounds. These were the ones that I was originally going to use for this on the last project that I ended up not doing. So I decided to do this instead. So I wet the edges so that I could just tear the paper. It just gives it a little more of an old-fashioned vintage look. And then I did that on all of them. And then I'm going to add Mod Podge to the center of all of my wood rounds. And of course, these all came from Dollar Tree. If you can't find them at Dollar Tree, you might check Temu. They might have some, but I know you can find some similar to these on Amazon. And then I am going to take my Distress Oxide. This is called Vintage Photo. And I'm just going to go all around the edges of that. And I'm trying to see what the next color is that I use because I don't remember what the color is called. But I'm just going around, and then I took my darker one, which is Ground Espresso, and I'm going to go around the edge of that too. So you can kind of see the 2 different colors there. I just thought it gave it a little bit more character. I laid my paper down on my wood slices and covered it with parchment paper. Again, the parchment paper protects the paper. The heat press reactivates that Mod Podge so your image sticks. And I love doing this technique because it makes it so smooth. You don't get air bubbles. And I just love it. So I just felt like it needed something more. So I took the vintage photo. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And my little dauber here, and I'm just wiping it. And I just loved this. I'm like, yes, this is what it needed. It just makes it look more vintagey. And so I did that on all 3 of them. And then I went over it with some Mod Podge. Now, this is where you do need to be careful because sometimes when you do this, it can cause it to bubble. If it does, you just take your once it's dry, take your parchment paper and heat press and just really lightly and quickly go over it. Otherwise, your parchment paper will stick to that Mod Podge. So I took this lace ribbon from Dollar Tree. I made some bows, just some regular shoestring bows. I took these little pieces, came from a pick from Walmart, and I just took them off, and I'm just going to glue them underneath my bow here, and then I'm going to add some berries. And I don't know what Oliver's barking at. If you hear him, I am so sorry. He's barking at probably somebody walking by with their dog. And yes, see, he's not always sleeping. He is a little active booger sometimes. And I think with the 12 days of Christmas, with me crafting so much, you guys, I think he was feeling neglected because he kept going in my bathroom and getting in my trash. And there's no reason for him to do that. and I just think he didn't like me being in my craft room so much. And so he was like, okay, I'll show you. So yes, he can be a little stinker sometimes, but most of the time he's a sweetheart. So I'm going to take some more of that vintage photo, and I'm just going to go over those berries to just mute that red a little bit so that it looks a little more vintagey. And oh, I loved it. I loved how this came out. And these are so pretty. Man, I might have to start doing some vintage stuff because I just love it. And I never use it in my home. But there they are. I just think these are so pretty. Oh, you have to let me know what you think about these as well in the comment box below. Okay, it is at number 6. So I'm going to take 3 little shadow boxes that I got this fall from Michael's. I think they're only like 98 cents each, something like that. I'm going to paint them with my Waverly chalk paint in the color hazelnut. Now, you didn't think I would do a video without something gingerbread, did you? Well, I am. So I'm going to take some scrapbook paper. This came from a little scrapbook book of scrapbook paper that I got from Amazon a year or two ago. I think it was 2 years ago. That's all about gingerbread stuff. So I'm going to cut this down, and you guys, I can never cut straight. And after this, I thought, why am I cutting with my scissors instead of my little cutting tool? Anyways, my paper cutter. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to add some Mod Podge to the inside of my box here, and then I'm going to add my paper. And as you can see, I got some hazelnut paint on the front of that paper, but that's okay because it's going to get covered up. But I'm just going to add this in there, and then I'm going to go over it again with a little bit more Mod Podge just to help protect that paper, just like you see. And then those window cleans that are right next to me, those are from Dollar Tree. Now, I don't know how long I've had them. I think I remember seeing them there last year. I think I might have gone 2 years ago. They got buried in my stuff, and I found them today when I was making these, and I'm like, this would be fun to make an ornament with. So that's what we're doing. So I added the little gingerbread guy here, and because my paper was crooked, I didn't want to deal with gluing like twine around the edge, so I decided to use my puff paint, and I just went around to make it look like frosting, and I decided to make some drip marks too. So I'm just going to make some drip marks here. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm not done. It needs something more, so I'm going to go ahead and use that puff paint again, and I'm just going to go around the whole outside of the frame making some frosting marks. And it's kind of crooked, but you know what? It gives it character, right? That's what's great about homemade stuff, is it has a little character that you're not going to get from any store. So I'm just going to go around, and you know what? These would be really great Christmas gifts. If you're making Christmas gifts, these would be great to do with your kids or grandkids, because they're really easy. So I just took some of these little peppermints. I get these from Hobby Lobby. I just tuck them on the corner on the frosting there, or the puff paint. And then the backing came off of this house, and the backing has the glue or the adhesive. So I'm just taking my Titebond multi-purpose, well, quick and thick multi-surface glue, and brushing it all along the edge, and then I'm going to stick it in. I did put some paint containers on top to hold it down for a little bit. And then I took the Joy here, and I'm going to put this in this one. And this one I went ahead and added some twine all the way around. All the way around. I don't know why I didn't want to do it on the other one, and I did on this one. Oh, who knows? Anyways, I think because I didn't want to just do the brown, and then I remembered I had this one that came from Dollar Tree. Usually they have it around the summertime when they have all their nautical stuff out, or around 4th of July. I think it's 4th of July because it's red. But yeah, I've had it in my stash for a while. So I took some little mini trees, and I'm just going to glue one on each corner inside the box there for the Joy. And then I'm going to do more of a curvy frosted line around, not so much boxy. So I'm just going to go around the whole thing, making my little curvy lines. And then I'm going to go, once I'm done, I'm just going to make little dots along each of the little openings there, just like you see. And after that, I took my other ornament here, and these are some like little candy ornaments. They come from Hobby Lobby. I'm just removing the hanger from them. I'm using my needle nose plier here. I'm just going to twist and pull at the same time, and they come right out. Then I'm going to just glue them in place inside. I felt like this would be perfect for that little gingerbread house that has the candy on it, and the paper has candy all along the background, so I thought this would be perfect. So I'm just going to glue those in. I put one on each corner, and then I had 2 more, so I just put made it so there's 3 across the top and 3 across the bottom. I think my grandkids are playing with Oliver. That's why he's barking. He's trying to tell them, stop it, and they're not listening. I'm going to then do some more swirly marks around, a little different swirly marks than I've done on this one. And I just love this. I just think it is so much fun. But anyways, I'm going to do this all the way around, and I'm just trying to be really careful because I want to make sure that they work. And yeah, I love it. Anyways, after that, if you recreate this, number one, before you put the puff paint on there, add your hanger. Because I was like, how am I going to do this? At least I had the candy mints on this to hold it so I didn't rub off the paint, the puff paint. But the other ones I like had to put on top of a paint bottle and then kind of try to hold it still while I stapled it. But I'm just using my staple gun here to staple those in place. And that's all there is for these. Oh my gosh, I love these. These are so adorable. You'll have to let me know what you think about these ones as well in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 7.